Hello everyone, welcome to a new project I decided to do on YouTube where I am playing for the very first time because I wasn't able to play these games as a kid because expensive, and the second one I was only in Japan. But welcome to my first playthrough of Ace Attorney Investigations, the collection. Which, for those who don't know, these are the games where you play as prosecutor Miles Edgeworth and do investigations as him. Now, I'm really excited to play these because I love Ace Attorney. I love Ace Attorney, and Miles Edgeworth is in fact my favorite character. So I'm really excited to play these games, and yeah, I figured I'd do a YouTube video for you for my first playthrough, guys. So let's get into it. I have played a little bit. Just to start with, but then I decided, you know what? No, we're gonna just do a new game. Just do a new game of Turnabout Visitor. I have been really excited for this game, this collection as well, because again, I love Ace Attorney. I think it's a great series, one of Capcom's best in my opinion. It really makes you think, and yeah, it's a great series. March 14th, 1:16 a.m. To make sure the defendant is found guilty, what other choice do I have? That's the job of a prosecutor, after all. That may be true, but why? Why go this far? Sorry, maybe I wasn't clear enough, but a guilty verdict is all that matters to me. No matter what the cost. Ooh. He looks interesting. I'm a prodigy among prosecutors. Always have been. Always will be. That's something I never liked. That's one gripe I always had with the Ace Attorney series, is they showed you the killer before you started the case. It's like, why not just leave it up to our imagination? You know, don't show us who the killer is, so make us have to really think. You know, that way we don't have any idea where to start. Like, it would have been interesting. March 14th to 5 minutes past 2 in the morning. Prosecutor's building, 12th floor hallway. So just under an hour afterward. Hey, and there's our boy Miles Edgeworth. There he is. And I'm using the HD graphics because this game actually gives you a choice between the HD graphics or the pixel graphics of the DS. Because that's what this game was released on. I chose the HD one just because, you know, it's modern. It's hard to believe that I've been away from my office for a whole month. I hope Detective Gumshoe has been keeping an eye on my office. And keeping it clean. The door is unlocked. Detective Gumshoe? What's the smell? It's very familiar. Blood? I should probably try and see if I can give Edgeworth kind of like a fancy voice, because he is very well spoken. What the? What's the meaning of this? Freeze. Uh-oh. Identify yourself. Shut up. Alright, Roxas. Shut up! You've got some nerve, committing murder in a prosecutor's office. Oh damn, so scared, buddy. Is that a threat? Edgeworth has no chill, I love it. Let me make one thing very clear. What? No one gets away with committing murder in my office. No one. Ooh, Edgeworth. He just don't care. My name is Miles Edgeworth, and I work as a prosecutor in my local district. Little did I know that upon my return home after a month abroad, I would be thrusted into a multitude of cases, and some very frantic and busy days. March 14th, 2:56 a.m. High Prosecutor's Offices, room 1202. I finished photographing the victim's body, sir. Very well. Please continue your investigation. Yes, sir. Ah! Mr. Edgeworth, sir! Are you okay, sir? Keep it down, detective. This is a crime scene. When I heard that a murder had taken place in your office, I ran up here straight away. That's Gumshoe! A possible fan favourite of the series. I know I like Gumshoe. He's a bumbler, but he's a good heart. He's got a good heart. This is Dick Gumshoe. He is a detective with the local precinct, and the one they assigned to handle this murder case for the time being. You're looking a little pale, sir. Are you hurt? No, I'm perfectly fine. However... Ah! Look what they did to your office! It's totally trashed! I'll say, the culprit sullied my floor with dirt rather well. No one gets away with tracking mud into my office. Whoa! Sounds like you're getting really burned up over this whole thing. This crime was committed in my office, so it is my responsibility to solve it. Ho ho! That's just like you, Mr. Edgeworth. Okay, time to do some investigating. Agreed. Our first course of action is to gather relevant facts and leads. We must not overlook anything, no matter how small, if we are to find the truth. So, I'll keep any leads or information we find etched in the forefront of my mind. Speaking of things that pique my curiosity, why of all places did the murder occur in my office? Okay, so we have a crime scene office. Okay. I get the nagging feeling that this is something important to keep in mind. Yeah, I was wondering that myself, sir. I mean, you can't really say it's just a coincidence, can you? No, not really. Especially because of this. The key to your office? What do you mean, sir? If you think about it carefully and use logic, it should become clear to you. Logic? I guess that's a foreign concept to our precious Dick Gumshoe. By finding the connection between two pieces of information and connecting them, new information is born. That is the end result of using logic. So how do you use it? First, I recall the information we've gathered with L1, and then I connect them together with triangle. Now, to use L1 and recall the facts. Okay, so, well, that's cool. So we can use logic and reasoning to put them together. That's very Edgeworth. Very Edgeworth. For security reasons, all prosecutors' doors are outfitted with locks, which means it would have been hard for the murderer and the victim to get in here. Ergo, it's impossible to dismiss the location of this crime as mere coincidence. Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking, sir. There must be a reason why someone infiltrated my room. What was the killer after? You're really on the ball today, Mr. Edgeworth. That's some beautiful logic, sir. Yes, well, when you follow leads to their conclusion, only the truth remains. However, if the information doesn't line up properly, I may stray far from the truth as well. But if I think carefully before piecing leads together, the logic should flow. Well, let's get started with our investigation, shall we? Yes, sir. High Purchase Offices, room 1202. Cool. The basis of any good investigation is to examine everything, sir. I know that, and when I want to examine something, I simply use X when I'm next to it. Oh, if you ever feel lost and want to talk, just use triangle, okay? I'll give you great, precise advice as an ace investigator, sir. Something to try later, if I have free time, I suppose. Alright, first off, let's examine the obvious. We'll examine the body. They finished photographing the body, so it should be alright to examine this area. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. Well, first off, we'll look at the body. Let's see here. There's blood all over his lower abdominal area. It looks like the bullet passed clean through his stomach area, sir. In other words, he was shot. Yep, and until the autopsy's done, I don't think we'll know much more than that. Please have the body sent to the morgue once they're done processing the crime scene. Okay, cool. So body was found at around 5 minutes past 2 in the morning. Okay. Are you going to be okay with keeping track of the evidence we find, sir? Of course. This is the safest way I know to keep track of it all. Alright, if you say so. I keep all the evidence I find either in or with my organizer. When I want to re-examine a piece, I have but to press R1 to open my organizer. But the organizer isn't only for evidence, I keep people's profiles on hand in it too. It's probably a good idea to make a habit of checking the facts often. I can read. I don't believe it. I packed those files on these shelves so tight that not even an earthquake could make them fall off, but just look at them. At this rate, the rest of the files won't be able to withstand an earthquake at all. A problem, to be sure. Well, once the investigation is over, we'll put them back on the shelf. Oh, it was a wallet or something as well. Maybe it's got his ID. What do we have here? Hey, I think I've seen one of these before. It's a police badge, detective. Oh hey, I had the exact same thing actually. What a coinky-dink. That's because you're also a detective. Like, Gumshoe is an idiot, but he's lovable. Let's take a look inside. Okay, so he was a detective named Buddy Faith. Okay. Mr. Buddy Faith. It would appear that our victim was a detective, just like you. Okay, so he was a detective. Alright. How about these files then? Your files are all over the floor, sir. They probably fell during the struggle between the victim and his killer. I tried so hard to keep this place spotless while you're away. I mean, this just rendered all the time and effort I put in pointless. I don't recall ever asking you to clean my room. Well, I watered the flowers every day, just like you requested, sir. I just added cleaning to the list as a weekend special. For about half a day every Saturday, I'd come in and clean this place until it sparkled. Does he have a life? Damn, Edgeworth. Just say thank you, man. Alright, that should be everything on the here then. Cool. Oh, it's a nice tea set. Oh, apologies. Watch out for the teacup fragments there, sir. That killer is going to pay. This tea set. Yikes, you're really mad over this. This tea set is very dear to my heart and can only be bought in England. It costs more than your whole month's paycheck. What? Now I feel like the killer's wasted one of my monthly paychecks. Sure. Hey, it's this trophy that he won. Oh, it's your trophy. The, Knight of Prosecutors, right? King of Prosecutors. And it's not a trophy, it's a shield. They only send this to the winning prosecutor, right? Yes, but I have no real interest in the perceived worth of other people. As for my own worth, that is something only I can determine for myself. That's so slick, sir. I'm going to have to try saying that sometime. Unfortunately for him, his monetary worth is tied directly to his worth to me. Damn, Edgeworth. Damn. You know you love Gumshoe. Oh, it's a steel samurai statue. Well, it's a good thing my steel samurai doll was spared any harm. Speaking of which, I still haven't actually sat down and watched any of that show. What's it about again? Well, I don't know much about it myself, but the hero of the Steel Samurai War of Neo Old Tokyo is the Steel Samurai, and his goal is to defeat the evil magistrate. It's a show geared towards kids. However, its high production values and riveting plot draws in a number of adults as well. Spin-offs like Pink Princess, Warrior of Little Old Tokyo, and the Nickel Samurai, along with a deluge of merchandise and even a new stage show, gives it presence. You sure know a lot. Are you sure you're not some sort of rabid fanboy? Of course not. Anyone that keeps up with society knows at least this much. And that conversation lasted longer than expected. Let's return to the investigation. Okay, and what about his suit here as well? How's it coming along? Please, I need absolute silence. Fingerprint lifting is a delicate art. Well, I never. I mean, he's not wrong, I suppose. Oh, okay, we also have another obvious one. Oh, his chest set. That sucks. Ouch! They even knocked over your chest set. I had it all set up, ready for when you got back. I figured we could play a few games. I had no idea you were interested in chess. I'm actually pretty good at checkers, so I thought I'd give chess a try. In that case, I suppose I can set some time aside after we solve this case. Though I don't expect the games to tax my mental acuity much. Damn, Gumshoe getting such crap. Alright, let's examine the gun. What have we here? Could this perhaps be the murder weapon? If so, it would mean that the killer made their escape after disposing of their gun here. I think I've seen one of these before. Care to enlighten me as to where? Oh, I know. I was issued the exact same model. I think. Detective. I don't really like guns all that much. I mean, they're really dangerous. But now that I think about it, you do see this model around the precinct a lot, sir. I don't use mine much, except in emergencies, so that's why I didn't recognize it. So it's the same type of revolver as the ones used by this precinct's detectives. I seem to have gathered a few pieces of pertinent information. Now to calmly use some logic and figure out if any of them are connected to each other. Okay then, let's do that. So press L1. Let's see, victim was a detective, revolver. Okay, so, yeah, so he was a revolver, and, he was a detective, and those revolvers are only used by precinct detectives. So it makes sense that these two, yeah, it makes sense that these two are connected. The revolver, the standard model used by detectives. Could it have belonged to our recently departed? Detective Gumshoe, could you please thoroughly check the victim's body one more time? Yes, sir. On it now. On it now, sir. Excuse me, pal. Let's see. What have we got here? Mr. Edgeworth, sir. This guy's wearing a gun holster. So it appears that our killer somehow managed to take the victim's gun from him. Okay, cool. So that's down in our inventory, our organizer. Let's see what else we can find out about this revolver. Okay, cool. And so we can also examine evidence. It seems that's cool. As I always say, you've gotta look really carefully at each piece of evidence. Sorry, I just had a yawn, guys. You can use the right stick to rotate an object. There's no such thing as a bad angle. Use L1 and R1 to zoom in and go out and out to get at the nitty gritty. Okay, so let's. Well, this way the victim was shot, so let's try examining the barrel. Oh hell, okay, hello. It looks like only one round was fired from this. Wow, so the killer had killed the Vic with just one shot after wresting the gun from him? Sounds like the guy knew how to handle a gun, huh? Mr. Edgeworth. We have no proof for now, but that is a distinct possibility. I guess this is all about all we're gonna find out. We should send the body to Ott. Jim! Why? Oh, why? How could this have happened to a guy like you? Okay. Are you alright? Don't touch me. Leave me alone. Just let me be. Sorry, but I can't do that. The investigation is still ongoing, so please refrain from touching the body. The body? The body? Don't talk about him like he's just some lump of flesh. Look at him. Jim looks like he's just turned in for the night. Sure. Just in a bloodstained suit, pal. Where are my manners? Aren't you that prosecutor? Why, yes, I am. I'm Jacques Portsman, prosecutor. Jim here is my partner in crime busting. Wait, did he say Jim? But the Vic's name is Buddy Faith, according to his badge. That's okay. That's already suspicious, and obviously we know him. We know him to be linked to this case because obviously the game showed us him before the case started. I'm Miles Edgeworth, and like you, I am also a prosecutor. Detective Dick Gumshoe, sir. So you're Miles Edgeworth. I guess this is your office? Yes, that is correct. Then it was you. You're the one who killed Jim. Hey, don't get around jumping to conclusions, pal. Just calm down, okay? I will not. I know how things work around here. High prosecutors' office doors all have locks built into them. And only the owner of the office has the key to his or her own office door. That is correct. However, I was not the one who killed your partner. Yeah, Mr. Edgeworth has been overseas on a business trip this whole time, pal. And the key to the door was with me the entire time, okay? So the only one who could get in here was me. Ho 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 ho. Ah, goddammit, Gumshoe. Wait, that means... I'm not sure what that means. So it was you then. You're Jim's killer. No way, pal. You've got it all wrong. Everyone calm down. Mr. Portsman, correct? If you are a real prosecutor, you should know to stay collected. The investigation has only just begun. Isn't it too early to be drawing such conclusions? Alright, I get the point. You're right, my mistake. I tend to get a little too hot-headed sometimes. You sure are one cool customer though, Mr. Edgeworth. I've heard all the rumors about you. You're the great genius prosecutor. You're something of a legend, you know. Anyway, let's call a truce and work together, okay? Now, how about a handshake to seal the deal? Or not. You guys were conducting your investigation, right? Sorry for barging in like that. Carry on then. It's your room after all. Thank you. I intend to. I just want a little more time to say goodbye to Jim. You there, sir. I want you to capture this scene on film for me. My final farewell to my partner Jim. Okay then. Oh, what do you say? What do you say? I should probably give them some space. Yeah, just a bit. Well, at least now we can actually examine this frame. Ah, your jacket, sir. What's it doing on the floor? It must have fallen off the wall when the killer tried to threaten me by firing a round. So the killer not only shot the victim, but they shot your jacket as well? They dared to shoot the ultra special jacket that you made your prosecutorial debut in? What if they had shot through it? It would have been a disaster. It's not worth getting worked up with a detective. Not when there's something more here. Huh? Like what? Oh yeah, there's a bullet hole in the frame. But if that's from the same gun, that's a contradiction because the gun only had one bullet fired. Huh, so does that mean there's two guns? I take it you haven't noticed it yet, detective. There is a giant contradiction right here in front of us. Really? Did I say contradiction? He must be rubbing off on me. I'm starting to sound like him. We all know who he's on about, Mr. Phoenix Wright. But I have my own methods, and I will conduct this investigation my way. When the scene before me contradicts a piece of evidence or seems off, that's when my deductive skills come into play. First, I have to find the spot that holds the contradiction. So, the bullet hole? This is it. This bullet hole is where the contradiction lies. When I spot something that's off, I should point my cursor at and press triangle with conviction. And when I have found sufficient proof to prove the contradiction, I present it. This is how I do things. There's only one shot fired. Eureka! Eureka! This bullet hole is the contradiction. What do you mean, sir? It's elementary. 2 shots were fired in this room. The first fell with the victim. And the second fell with this frame. Hey, that's right. However, this gun was only fired once. Hey, that's true too. Which means that one of these two bullets was fired from a different gun. Did the killer have another gun prepared for tonight? By the way, I noticed something, sir. Yes? What's that thing sticking out from behind the frame? Ah, that. It's a secret safe. Sorry, I can't read. Secret safe? Oh, I smell money. I'll spare us the trouble and just say it. Nothing like what you're imagining is inside. Now, if you could kindly move this frame out of the way. Roger that. Nice safe. Talk about dusty. I suppose that's what happens when I'm not here to dust it once in a while. I had no idea there was a safe here, or I've kept it clean for you, sir. So when did you put this thing in? It wasn't something I had installed personally. Every prosecutor's office has one. Really? I had no idea. Well, only prosecutors are supposed to have knowledge of their existence. So, what's inside, Mr. Edgeworth? Right now, nothing. We only use them to store especially important evidence when a trial is in session. That's it? Talk about squashing my hopes and dreams. Something's definitely off of it, though. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. Now this is odd. You found something, sir? This keypad. Don't you find it to be a bit too clean? Yeah, there's a thick layer of dust all around it, but not on the keypad itself. You there, the forensic scientist. Yes, sir. Could you please dust this area for fingerprints? You got it, sir. I couldn't find, let alone lift, a single print. Looks like it was wiped down well. That's strange. Does that mean the killer tried to get in the safe? As I thought. It appears that logic is the only way around this setback. Time to rationally and calmly connect the dots with the information we have. Okay, so let's see. So, killer's goal. So we want that one. I think... Let's try wipe fingerprints. No. Yeah, let's try wipe fingerprints. Hey, there we go. I believe I have figured out what the murderer was after. Well, what is it, sir? The fact that the safe was wiped clean of fingerprints suggests that the criminal had at least attempted to open my safe, making the culprit's motive for breaking and entering theft, I believe. I wonder if knowing that the motive behind this breaking was theft changes what the other piece of information can tell me about this crime. Most likely, because at least then we have a different perspective to look at them from. So we go signs of motive theft. My files are a mess, pointing to the struggle between the victim and the killer. So maybe it was the files they were after then. So let's try that. Hey, I'm good at this apparently. There is a possibility that the files splayed on the floor are not the result of a struggle between the victim and his killer. Oh, you mean like it could be from when the killer tried to find something, sir? Precisely. We need to figure out if any of the files have been stolen. Yes, sir. I'm going to shelve files like you've never seen before, even at a library. Sure. Let's give that a try. Why do all the good ones always die young? Surely you must ponder that every once in a while, Mr. Edgeworth. No matter how much we lament, the dead will not come back to life. All we can do is search for the truth. And? So what are we supposed to do? How do we go about finding the truth? First, we calmly restore the files to their rightful place. You got it. Here, let me help. So this file goes here, and that book goes there. You sure know a lot about where things go, despite being Mr. Edgeworth's office. Because I'm the one who keeps it tidy, pal. Okay, done. Ah, interesting. It would appear that the murder was definitely committed here. The bloodstains on the bookshelf are still fresh. I suspect that the victim was killed in a standing position, hence the print on the shelf. And then the guy fell onto the floor, right? The blood on the floor is kind of grossing me out. Detective, I don't have time to deal with your weak stomach right now. You know I'm no good with blood, sir. I'm certain there's something wrong with this picture. Let's have a look at the files then. I put them all back, just as they should be, sir. Doesn't look like anything's missing. Although, it does look like the killer moved the body to flip through my shelves. I wonder if they found what they were looking for. The victim's handprints. He must have tried to support himself with his hand after being shot. There are prints on the floor too. Those must have been made when unable to stay standing, he dropped to the floor. The killer moved the body because it was leaning against the bookshelf. The blood on this guy's pants proves that pretty well. In a sense, I suppose. See? I'm not completely useless, Mr. Edgeworth. It appears that the victim was in a sitting position here after being shot. Oh, so that's why the seat of the victim's pants has blood on it. That would be the logical conclusion. And there's that bullet hole. So this is where the bullet lodged itself after it went through the victim, huh? For the bullet to be lodged so squarely in a file's spine indicates that the files were ransacked after the shooting had occurred. But I guess the victim was moved because he was in the killer's way. Wait, hold on. Hold on. Hold on. What did the crime scene note say? Bullet went clean through the victim's abdomen. Oh, that's interesting. Unless the killer is like freaking like not very like I don't know, a freaking little tiny ass like a tiny ass little gnome or something. There's no way that should have gone for the abdomen. So I think, yeah, that's a contradiction there. Is this spot somehow connected to any of the evidence I hold? Yeah, I think that seems like a contradiction. There is clearly a contradiction here. This bullet hole. What do you mean, sir? You don't see? Quite simply, the bullet hole itself is too low. If the victim was shot in the stomach, the hole should be much higher up. But what if the guy was shot while he was sitting or lying down, sir? That would be illogical. The victim leaned against the shelf here after being shot, which suggests that he was standing when he was shot. Then that means... Wait, what does that mean, sir? It means you need to use your brain every once in a while instead of mine, detective. In any case, it means someone made a faulty assumption. And it was from this mistake that our current contradiction was born. What is the faulty assumption that caused this problem with the bullet hole's position? I would say the order of the files then, wouldn't it? No. No, Gumshoe would know. Gumshoe would know where the files would go because he's cleaned the office for a month. So I would say the position of the body. Yeah. Position of the body, maybe? Because maybe the guy was standing up. No, that still wouldn't make sense. Maybe the guy was... Yeah, hold on. Yeah, maybe the guy was... Maybe the guy was... No. Was he maybe... Because that wouldn't make sense. Because if he was shot while he was on the floor... If he then stood up... Just to fall over... Oh no, yeah, because there's also blood on his ass. So I would say position of the handprints, maybe. Let's go position of the handprints. No, yeah, let's go. No, position of the body. Yeah, because he was most likely sat down then. If the victim was shot while he was laying down. Wait, didn't you just say that line of reasoning is logical, sir? You said the victim leaned against the shelf here after being shot. I was trying to be nice and explain my complex logic in an easier way for you, detective. Oh, really? Thanks for thinking of me, sir. Okay, so it wasn't that. good. I don't think he noticed my mistake. Okay, so it wasn't that then. So, order the files then? So, yeah, order the files then. I believe to order the files is a bit off. You mean I put them back in the wrong order just now? Hey, actually, I think the labels on the files are wrong, sir. Oh? Yeah. You see here how the files that were shot begin with the number 0? What are those doing all the way down there after 1, 2, and 3? That's really weird. Actually, the way they are organized now is the correct order. They are exactly as I see them in my mind's eye. But the numbers are all out of order. Those white binders are special, so they are arranged a little differently. But from this, we know that the files are not in this order when the crime occurred. Aha! So that's it. I believe the killer made the same incorrect assumption as you just did, Detective. Let's rearrange the files in numerical order and see what we find out. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Do you think it'd be okay to prop the body back up to know how it was before it was moved? They finished processing the crime scene, so I don't see why it wouldn't be. If you please, Detective Gumshoe. As I suspected, the bullet hole is now where it should logically be. The killer went through my files first before shooting Mr. Faith. And then put the files back in numerical order, I guess. Exactly. And proceeded to shoot the victim. But why would someone kill a man and then look through your files one more time? Puzzling indeed. The files were thrown into disarray twice, once before and once after the crime. But why? Now the crime scene is as it was at the time of the murder. Time to give it another look. Okay. Oh. Oh. That's a glaring hole. I'll take a look at that. I'll take a look at that in a minute. Let's take a look at this first. As I suspected, the bullet hole is now where it should logically be. And we figured that out that the killer went through your bookshelf twice. Indeed. There are many things that the killer did that don't make sense. But to figure out the whys, we need more information. Okay. These handprints belong to the victim, right? They make sense with the body position. Yes, he must have left them when he was trying to support himself after he was shot. However, the file position of the body shows that it was moved. I need to go over this crime scene with a fine-tooth comb one more time. There must be some reason as to why the victim's body was moved. But there's no time to ponder that now. Let's continue our investigation, Detective. Roger that, sir. I'm raring to go. Okay, let's finally examine this, because... Wait, hold on. Hold on. Wait, if I look at that upside down... Oh. Oh, if I look at that upside down, that looks like it spells a word. But wait, hold on. This is... this... Yeah, it looks like it spells a word, but if my assumption's correct, that word is misspelled. What is that? Why does it say gumshoe on there in blood? Yep, thought so. Gumshoe. Although it's missing a H. It says gumso. I don't know. I'd say that's some incredibly incriminating evidence. Yes, indicative of criminal activity indeed. No, wait! There's got to be some mistake. Mr. Edgeworth, sir, help me. Say something, sir. It appears that one of my files was stolen. Is that all, sir? What about me and my situation? Is this what the killer was really after? Huh, unless... I don't think the victim wrote that, though. Because Gumshoe wouldn't kill a man. Looks like Jim was able to leave us the name of his killer in the end. And this most important message managed to reach us. I'm telling you, it wasn't me. You can't be terribly pleased to hear that your beloved partner is the guilty party. If you are going to accuse Detective Gumshoe of being the culprit, I sincerely hope you have some proof to back it up. Jim's words, they're more than enough, wouldn't you say? If that's how you want to play it, then at least allow me to understand your reasoning. You got it. I don't like this one bit. There's something strange about this man's attitude. And there must be some sort of flaw to his logic waiting for me to dig out. Mr. Edgeworth, what are you going to do? What I always do in court. I'm going to cross-examine him. One way or another, I'll expose the flaw in his logic with this technique. Oh, how'd you do that? Can you explain it to me, sir? Might as well. Because this sounds like a twirl. Alright, first, I listen to the witness's testimony. If I find a flaw in the testimony, something that contradicts the evidence, I open my organizer with R1 and present the piece of contradictory evidence. To present something, I simply use triangle, but that's old news. But it's not like there's going to be a flaw in their testimony every time, right? Correct. And at those times, I need to press the witness with L1. Sometimes by pressing, I can draw out new information, a new or modified testimony. I think I get it, sir. I'll be sure to try this technique out during investigations too. Very well. I'll even show you how it's done. Now, watch carefully. Mr. Portsman's logic. Detective Gumshoe, you stole Jim's gun from him and shot him dead. Furthermore, you messed up the files to make it look like you had committed theft instead. That's when you moved Jim's body that was sitting in front of the bookshelf. And thanks to that, you didn't notice the bloody letters his body was hiding. And it'll be by his final words that you will be brought to justice. You intend to argue that the victim's dying message points to his killer? I can hear Jim's voice, and he's calling for his killer's arrest. Are you sure you're not mishearing his words, Mr. Portsman? There is no way Detective Gumshoe is the culprit here. I will find the flaw in this man's logic, and expose it with credible evidence. Let's have a look. Rebuttal. I like that, rebuttal. Okay, let's press him for now.
Hold it!
You know, there's something I've been meaning to ask. What is it? Why do you call the victim Jim, when clearly his name is Buddy Faith? Isn't it obvious? Jim is the perfect name for my companion. Jack and Jim. Don't those two names go together like peanut butter and jelly? Not really. But Jim isn't even close to the guy's real name. Well, Jack and Buddy just sounds off somehow. Besides, he was the third of a bunch of guys I said nicknamed Jim. He talks about the victim like he was his pet. Further, you messed up the files to make it look like you had to commit theft instead.
Hold it!
Do you really think it was necessary to dishevel my shells twice to do that? That's true. Okay then, maybe his real intent was theft. Hey, are you accusing me of stealing something from Mr. Edgeworth? It's a possibility. Maybe your salary's been cut so much that life is getting a little too rough to handle? Oh, how do you know that I eat 3 square meals every day, pal? Okay, so all 3 of them happen to be instant noodles, but... Poor thing. What evil prosecutor you were paired up with, and what a motive, no? I don't know.
Hold it!
And why would Detective Gumshoe do such a thing? Because the body was getting in his way. He had to mess up your bookshelf somehow, right? Anyway... Thanks to that, you didn't notice the bloody letters his body was hiding.
Hold it!
Why do you think that the killer didn't notice the bloody letters? The body was covering it quite well, wouldn't you say? That's how he missed it. But judging by what I've seen, it doesn't take much for your detective to miss something. Who do you think you are? You know nothing about me, pal. There's a lot a person can understand about another from first impressions alone. I can't say I disagree with him on that point. But why don't you say something, sir? Not you too, Mr. Edgeworth. Despite his lack of attention to detail, I don't believe the detective to be the culprit. Nobody could overlook the bloody letters, and I can prove it with evidence. I could ask for a better setup for the game-finishing spike. And it'll be by his final words that you will be brought to justice.
Hold it!
Are you saying that those letters were intended for you? Yep, Jim was an outstanding detective. I would expect no less from my former partner. It looks like Mr. Portsman still doesn't understand. He has yet to figure out the true meaning behind the bloody letters. What are you sputting over there? Can't you just admit my logic is perfectly sound? Actually, there's a gigantic flaw in his logic. A gap so wide that even the good detective can spot it. Now, to clue Mr. Portsman in by presenting him with some evidence. Okay. Yeah, okay, so Edgeworth said it at this one, I think. He said that, yeah, he hinted at this, he hinted at the floor being in this statement. Okay, good, yep. There we are. So he said no one, so he'll prove it with evidence, so it must be on that one that I present evidence. But what could be... Yeah, wait, yeah, because... Yeah, because if the culprit stole one of the files, he would have to notice the blood. He would have to notice the blood. Yeah, he'd have to notice the blood because he stole one of the files. And I highly doubt Mr. Faith wrote it after one of the files was stolen.
Objection!
Hey, we got a trophy! Objection! Successfully presenting the correct evidence during a rebuttal without using story mode. Nice. Perhaps you're not aware, Mr. Portsman, but there is a serious flaw in your logic. Heh, bringing a bit of the courtroom to this, I see. No problem, I'm game. I can't help but find it odd. Excuse me? Odd that a fellow prosecutor be brought down by the power of his own office. What are you talking about? Oh, you're joking. I get it. Ha ha ha. If you have the time to laugh, you have the time to take another, closer look at this. Do you still not see? If not, may I direct your attention to the missing file? Well, what? That's impossible. What's impossible, Mr. Portsman? Nothing. The files on that shelf are all about a certain case. When the killer went to take the file after murdering your partner, I highly doubt they could have missed the bloody letters written on the spines. It's possible that they could have taken the file before committing the murder. I think it's pretty obvious that the file was stolen after it was written on. The missing letters in the detective's name where the file should be is proof. Yeah, I mean the S is gone and there's only half an H. Detective Gumshoe really was the culprit of this case. I highly doubt that even he could overlook his own name written in blood on the files. Especially as a detective who can't stand the sight of blood. Which means, what exactly? What does that make this dying message? It makes it the work of a criminal intent on tampering with the crime scene. That's so low. I can't believe the criminal tried to pin this whole thing on me, sir. I'm gonna get him, sir. You'll see. I'm gonna have them under arrest in no time. Well, Mr. Portsman? Brilliant. Absolutely splendid. Logic deserving of Olympic gold. I appreciate the praise, but it doesn't change the fact that your reasoning is flawed. Meh, you win some, you lose some. That's how life goes. Glad everyone's so cheery, even though I feel more dead than alive. Ah, but you know, it really is a shame. I really didn't want to have to bring this up, however. Oh, what is it this time? Are you still after me, pal? Humor me for a second. Who has the key to this office? That would be me. But Mr. Edgeworth has just proved that I'm innocent, pal. Oh, put on the jacket. That's absolutely right, and I acknowledge your innocence. Then why do I sense that you still have something to say? This dude's a freaking ham. Well, I was thinking, did you know there is one other person with a key to this office? One other person? Hey, you there. Yes, sir. What is it, sir? Would you kindly fetch and escort that lovely young lady here for me? A lady? The girl is a member of this building's security. Think of her as a material witness. I think, guys, so the video doesn't get too long, I'm gonna end it there. But next video we will see who this material witness is and if she can actually add anything to this guy's accusation that Gumshoe was the yeah, we'll see if this material witness can add any accusation, any weight to his accusation that Gumshoe was the killer. But thank you for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed my first video, my first playthrough of the Miles Edgeworth games, and I shall see you guys in the next video. And remember, you make sure to use logic and reasoning, and you shall never fail. Take care, everyone, and goodbye for now.